traveling into Rhode Island, all the way from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, the Crimson Tide. First road game of the new season with their new head coach. Inside the Ryan Center, amped up on a cold November night in Kingston. Bama against the Rhode Island Rams. Southeast Conference against the Atlantic 10. What is expected to be a tight ball game. And hello again, and welcome, Rich Berner. Pleased to be alongside Ronnie Thompson. What a week, Ronnie, for the mid-majors. It began with Walter McCarty taking his Evansville Purple Aces into his alma mater, the University of Kentucky Rupp Arena, and shocking the #1 ranked Wildcats. It has also been a good week for mid-majors from the Atlantic 10, winning against the Southeast Conference the last two nights, and then in between, St. Joe's defeated UConn 96-87. So, Ronnie, what will it take for Rhode Island to beat Bama?
Two things. One, Rhode Island has to get back in transition because in the end, Alabama pushes it as hard as any team you'll see play this year. And then secondly, they've got to see the ball go through the basket and see it go through the basket early. They can't have lulls in the game like they had a few nights ago against the University of Maryland. These two guys are going to be the main ones responsible for knocking down shots. They've got to hit shots. They've got to establish a bit of an offensive rhythm for this URI ball club.
Mention that new coach for Alabama, it's Nate Oates. He was the hottest commodity in the coaching ranks, at least out of the mid-majors last year, came from the University of Buffalo. He likes to push it. So who's behind the wheel of that Ferrari at Alabama?
Liking to push it is you wording it nicely. That's all they want to do. They want to go end to end. And that guy right there, Kyrie Lewis, he makes this engine go. He's leading them in minutes played, points per game, assists. His DNA is all over what this Alabama ball club wants to do offensively as well as defensively.
There is Nate Oates, 96 wins, 4 seasons at Buffalo, knocked off Arizona and Arizona State and his old boss, Bobby Hurley, in consecutive NCAAs. There's David Cox, second season at Rhode Island. He took over for Danny Hurley, who went to UConn. Cox played his college basketball at William & Mary in the mid-90s, was fraternity brothers, good friends with Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin. Alabama comes in 1-1. They lost their opener at home to Penn 81-80 and then beat FAU, Florida Atlantic 78-59. Rhode Island is 1-1. Defeated Long Island University and then lost at #7 Maryland, a game they led 24-12 early but ended up losing in convincing fashion. 73-55 was the final down at College Park. Rhode Island in white, Bama in red. Nate Oates told us before the game that was going to be a tactic. They were going to collapse on Cyril Langevin. He is Rhode Island's outstanding big and leads the country, at least early on through 2 games, in rebounding. It's 16 per game.
And Rich, what's good about that game plan is URI, they've really struggled shooting from the perimeter, so they don't want to allow them to get going on the inside, so you're going to see them double on the post.
Starting lineups brought to you by Golden Corral. Here's Herbert Jones getting to the rim. And that foul was on Fats Russell. His first, team's first. Herbert Jones, 6'7", 206-pound junior from Greensboro, Alabama. He is their defensive specialist. Long, tough, son of a coach. Had a hyperextended left elbow and left after only playing 9 minutes against Penn. They feel like they would have won that game had he been around and sat out against FAU, but here he is back. It's Tyrese Martin with the basketball. Here's Jeff Dalton. Fats Russell traveled along the baseline.
If you're David Cox for the Rhode Island Rams, you can't be too excited. Your first 2 offensive possessions, 2 turnovers right away. It's not a good sign, especially early on. They just need to settle down, work the ball around the perimeter, and let Langevin touch it on the inside, and then play a little inside out.
John Petty, 3. That's a little long in the rebound to Jeff Dalton. Stripped by Jones and taken right back by Tyrese Martin.
Good job, I thought, that time by Martin. After the turnover, he didn't give up on the play. He didn't hang his head. He sprint hard to get back. But that's 3 turnovers in a row for the Rams.
side, and that's an offensive foul. And we'll whistle Jermaine Harris. That's his first and the team's second.
A little pick and roll action right here by Harris. Didn't gather his feet. Excellent rotation, I thought, that time by Alabama. And that young man right there, Jones, he led the SEC last year in charges taken. That's what he does.
That's Kyra Lewis. Kyra can get into the paint, and he is a blur end to end. Free ball, Harris in and out. Rhode Island in an early 5-0 hole. You can see just how quick Kyra Lewis is. Jones misses the layup, but he's fouled on the follow.
Jones, we see early on doing all the little things. Took a charge a few possessions earlier. That time the hard drive, stayed with it, stayed on the offensive boards, giving the Tide extra scoring opportunities there on the offensive end.
It's a shooting foul, and Herbert Jones is on the line for the Crimson Tide. He has 2 free throws.
So 2 fouls on Jermaine Harris very quickly. Jones not a particularly good foul shooter, 50% for his career.
Replacing Jermaine Harris in the ballgame for the first time tonight. Welcome number 12, Dana Tate.
So Harris goes to the bench, and Dana Tate will take his place.
Not surprised at all that move by David Cox. Harris shooting a 3, one of your biggest guys. You want to see him play a little bit closer to the basket. You've had a few possessions where you struggled in your offensive set. You don't want your big coming down, taking threes that early in the possession.
Familiar refrain in sports. Crimson Tide lead by a touchdown. Fats Russell. Hold on. First bucket of the game for Rhode Island. They needed that. Jones with a pass, and that's good defense by Russell to block Beetle Bolden, and Bolden traveled with it. Good job contesting the shot.
Great job, I thought, that possession by Fats Russell. We're talking a 5'10" guard blocking your jump shot. If you're Bolden, you've got to get that off a little quicker or get some ball reversal. Excellent hustle, that possession by Fats.
Fats is Philly tough. You love a guy named Fats.
No doubt about it.
Domino. Basketball, you think about Fat Lever, Lafayette Lever.
Oh, you went back a little bit.
Back in the day, played in the NBA. There's a little ticky-tack foul on Beetle Bolden, who likes to get up in your grill. He played for John Huggins, so you know he's tough. Or Bob Huggins, excuse me, down at West Virginia. First foul on Beetle Bolden. And Bolden would go to the bench. Jaden Shackelford takes his place. That's Russell with a triple, so all 5 points now for Fats Russell, and he has Rhode Island to within 1. Trouble on the handle. John Petty, run out. What a rejection, and there's the defense we talked about by Herbert Jones. Fast break lay-in, Shackelford, nice feed.
And then off of the block, Alabama, they didn't push it to set up their offense. When they get the ball from getting defensive stops, they're pushing the ball to score each and every possession.
Langevin, a little awkward on that dribble drive. He's not highly skilled, but he is tough, and he hits the glass. Shackelford traveled. Fourth turnover for Alabama.
Both teams early on, Rich, have had trouble with taking care of the ball. You want to get a shot attempt if you're the coach, especially Richmond early on. Richmond, Rhode Island, sorry, they turned the ball over their first 4 possessions. Fortunate for them, they're only down 3.
Langevin on the block, working, and he's fouled.
There you go. And I think Rhode Island has to make sure that they keep a steady diet of throwing it inside to him to allow him to get going and then play off of your inside game. Right here, you see the pound. The double team doesn't come 2 feet in the lane. That's going to be a bucket or a foul if you're Alabama. You can't let Langevin get that close to the basket.
Langevin only 4 for 11 from the foul line in 2 games this season, 55% for his career. That foul was on John Petty. It works. It counts. Had a nice sound to it.
I was talking to Coach Cox yesterday in practice for Rhode Island, and he was telling me how Langevin, how his game has just progressed. I asked him, I said, what is different about him now than when he first walked in the door? He said he was always a physical specimen. He always had a good motor. But he said his skill set has gotten better. He's putting the ball on the floor a little bit. His passing has even gotten better.
Martin 3 off the steal. Rebound away to Herbert Jones. Alabama leads it early here in Rhode Island, 8-6. Shackelford, good move. Unfortunately, Javion Davis couldn't handle that feed. So both teams a little sloppy here in the early going. Alabama leads it by 2 in Rhode Island. Alabama is leading Rhode Island 8-6 in what has been a turnover plagued game. There's Nate Oates. 6 years ago, he was teaching math, coaching high school basketball at Romulus High in Michigan, selling snacks. He said Cheetos were the bestseller. Flaming Hot Cheetos were the best sellers. What a meteoric rise for Nate Oates.
You know, when you look at it, the success that he had at Buffalo, you know, it's one of those deals where it just shows you when you commit yourself, you dedicate yourself, you get kids to buy in the kind of success you can have. And what better poster child than Nate Oates and the job he did at Buffalo.
And while coaching at Romulus High School, he got to know the Hurley family, Bobby Hurley in particular. Bobby really liked him. Oates, a former point guard, small college in Wisconsin, and brought Nate to his staff at the University of Buffalo. They had a tremendous run up there. The foul was on Kyra Lewis, his first. He took over for Avery Johnson. Only been to the NCAA tournament 3 times in the last 13 years. Not good enough down at Alabama.
We were talking before the game, and I was asking him what he thought one of the biggest adjustments would be, or steps he'd have to take from going from Buffalo to the SEC. He said the recruiting takes on a whole different picture when you go to the SEC.
He knows what he wants to do. He wants to play fast, wants to shoot threes, and there's a 3-ball right there. Shackelford short. Chased down by Fats Russell. Ahead to Langevin. Beautiful play. Set up by Fats Russell.
Great job that time by URI with the hard push after they got to stop it. Both of these teams want to play a very similar fashion. They want to get after it defensively, and they want to push it hard in transition.
Boy, Shackelford's not bashful after coming up short on the previous 3. He's long on this one. Here's Tate. And count it! And a foul on Alabama.
Again, the reaction time after you get a stop is always key if you want to be a good transition team. And URI, they get the stop, but they didn't hesitate. They pushed it hard, got out in transition, and was able to convert before the Tide were able to get back and get their defense set.
Foul was on Herbert Jones, his first, Alabama's 4th team. And suddenly Rhode Island with a 4-point lead. They were down 6-0.
Rich, I really love that last possession by the Rams. And they're going back to it again with a little 1-2-2 full court pressure just to slow the Tide down just a little bit and to give them a different look. Great call, I think, that time by David Cox. Just almost like a boxer throwing a jab. It's not always to hurt you, but it's just to keep you a little bit on your heels.
Well, boxing of it. Vinny Pazienza's from Rhode Island. Glums, we're talking sweet science. There's an 8-0 run, maybe more for Rhode Island. Little Euro and a flush from Dana Tate. Wow. Kyra Lewis, no, and Fats Russell's there for the rebound. Ryan Center is fired up. Fats from deep, new. Doughton, now to Martin. Misfires. 15-8 Rhode Island. Beetle Bolden, corner. Kyra Lewis, no. Good hustle by Beetle Bolden. Reese has it. Little floater, and Alabama gets on the glass and gets the bucket.
You know, you see the versatility of a guy like Kyra Lewis. 6'3" in there. He's in there with the bigs. He's not just a guy that's looking to score. He'll hurt you in a lot of ways.
Kyra Lewis is bouncing. He does get credit for that bucket. Langevin in a scrum underneath. Loses it, but he's fouled.
Again, what I like is the reaction after the steal. Nice hands, that possession by Tate. Good hard push, way to handle the ball. Euro steps his way to a nice little dunk in transition.
6'7", 230-pounder, built like a tight end. He's from Boston.
When you look at Rhode Island, they don't have a lot of, and both of these teams are very similar in that regard. They don't have tons of really, really tall guys, but they have length. You know, Dowden, he's a 6'3", 6'4" point guard. They have long arms. And that's really how tall you are, from tip to tip of your hands, not from where your head is.
Bolden, little Euro step, and he finishes. It's a nice move. And James Beetle Bolden. Bama back with it. They're going to go inside. It's a nice little baby hook right there by Galen Smith, 6'9", 245-pound junior from Clinton, Mississippi.
At this level of play, you can't allow the bigs to get 2 feet in the paint, because that's going to be a layup all day long for both ball clubs.
Don't see the baby hook all that often.
Well, you got a lot of bigs now shooting threes. They want to be guards.
That's beautiful backdoor play. That's good basketball right there. Backdoor cut by Doubt. Nice feed by Cyril Langevin. Doubt now with 4. Kyra Lewis. Reese had an idea. That's good defense. Fats Russell's been really good for Rhode Island. So Rhode Island is doing it on the defensive end.
They certainly are. You see active hands here by Tate. Tate not only gets the steal, but the hard push and the finish.
Sunday it's winner take all in Miami. Martin Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, and Kyle Busch go door to door for the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. Sunday 3 Eastern on NBC. Rhode Island down 6-0 early using its defense in the play of Fats Russell to jump on top by 3. Solid out-of-conference schedule for Rhode Island. Already lost to Maryland. Maryland's a very good team. LSU upcoming. LSU losing to VCU out of the Atlantic 10. Beetle Bolden's old school, West Virginia, December 1st. Then a real good rivalry game here for Rhode Island against the Friars from Providence.
David Cox saying the little tweak in the schedule was intentional. He thought last year they closed out winning 6 of their last 7 games and still didn't get into the tournament. So he wanted to make his schedule just a little bit tougher this year.
Big fella, Javion Davis working hard inside, working up a sweat, but nothing to show for it, as Rhode Island did a solid job defensively there.
Both teams, we're seeing a lot of effort in the half court. Active arms, denying the passing lanes, and exceptional pressure on the ball.
Cyril Langevin, bit heavy on that shot. And that was travel, Beetle Bolden. He's in a hurry. That is now 8 turnovers for Alabama. They had 19 in the win over Florida Atlantic. And Coach Oates said 12 or fewer. That's where he wants to be. It's just too many.
He would like to be at 12 or fewer, but they keep going at the pace they're going at now. They've got 8 turnovers in the first 9 minutes of play. If you're coach, when they go in at halftime, he's certainly going to want to tell his guys to tighten up that area.
Fats off the screen, pull up, has it.
The rhythm that I've seen Fats in this game is an awful lot like the rhythm I've seen from him in the past. He struggled a little bit from before these first 2 games out of the box. He seemed to be getting his strength back.
That one was tipped away. So another turnover for Alabama. Deep 3. Doubt. Wow. Jeff Doubt and Fats Russell right now are taking Bama apart. 22-14 Rhode Island. 7-0 run. And another turnover. Good defense by Rhode Island. They're active. Cross-court pass. McGee long. Off the bench. And Long knocks down a triple. And Fats Russell walking over to our broadcast table and just shouting, "This is our house." And Rhode Island has an 11-point lead on Alabama here at the Ryan Center. Well, David Cox of Rhode Island has to love what he's seen so far. On the other hand, Alabama just turning it over too much, Ronnie.
Yeah, it's a little bit of is it good defense or poor offense? But you got to give Rhode Island a lot of credit. 10-0 run right now. They're doing a tremendous job at not just getting stops, but once they turn them over or get a stop, their transition offense has been great.
Good interior pass, and the dunk is missed by Javion Davis. Good pass by Jones. Fats Russell to the hole, looked for a foul, didn't get it, and it's Alabama basketball.
Nate Oates has got to be really frustrated. Great out of the timeout call by Coach Oates. Executed flawlessly. Just they didn't convert on the dunk. Again, this press isn't really to come after Alabama, but more or less just slow them down, throw them out of their offensive rhythm just a little bit.
Jones hammers it down, had a wide open driving lane, and finally Bama breaks the drought.
That was poor perimeter defense by Toppling, who was guarding the ball, but at that time I thought Harris could have slid over and given a hard foul, or at least attempted to block the shot.
Harris, 3 ball. Forbes had the rebound. Ira Lewis and Jones traveled. To say the least, Alabama is discombobulated right now.
Again, though, nice little high ball screen, nice ball reversal, a lot of guys touching the ball. That time I thought Harris, 0 in white, should have slid over, taken the charge, given a hard foul, give them a little bit of inside presence.
Doughton, nowhere to go with it. 8 on the shot clock. Harris to the bucket, and he traveled. It has not been an artistic masterpiece to this point.
No, but sometimes, you know, it doesn't always have to be. So far, things are going in Rhode Island's favor. It started off slowly. They turned it over the first 3 or 4 possessions, but they've sort of found their rhythm. And the way they did that is they started to get stops on the defensive end. Alabama already 11 turnovers in this game. You've got to give the Rams a lot of credit for that.
I thought Jones traveled on that play. Instead, it's a wide open 3, and Shackelford has really been wildly off target. Rebound off the miss. Who else? Cyril Langevin. 17 rebounds against Maryland. Doughton. If Doughton and Fats Russell are stroking it, it's a different ball club.
It really is, because they have length. This team really guards. They've just been struggling knocking down shots. And then also, if Tyrese Martin, number 4 in white, if he can find a way to come along consistently to this Ram party, this ball club is a very, very tough out in the A-10.
And you saw number 21 in white right there. That's Jacob Toppin, highly prized freshman, and is the brother of the superstar in the making at Dayton, Obi Toppin, who's getting some first-round NBA buzz. It is a family of high flyers.
The difference between the two, the brother at Dayton is more of a back-to-the-basket, more of a 4. This one, the little brother, is more of a slasher, face-up, athletic. Just you can put him in a lot of different positions on the floor.
Beetle Bolden used the left to no avail. The defense, Cyril Langevin. Good defense all the way around now for Rhode Island. Their biggest lead. Looking to add to it. Beautiful little floater in the lane. Jeff Doughton.
Rich, Nate Oates told me right before the game is that we have to do a solid job defensively of Fats Russell and Jeff Doughton. And so far this game, the 2 of them have given Alabama an awful lot of trouble.
And guess what? Another turnover, Alabama. So it's a 14-2 run the last 4.5 minutes for the Rhode Island Rams.
Dalton has shown you a little bit of everything. Get the floater, comes down in transition, knocks down the three. The Rams have it rolled.
Rhode Island down 6-0 early, now leading by 13. What's behind this big cushion?
They've been able to get stops from a defensive standpoint, force 12 turnovers, but once they've gotten a stop or gotten a steal, they've had a hard conversion. They push it hard. They're not slowing it down. They're not pulling it back out. They're turning defensive stops into easy points, and I'm going to tell you what that does. When you see the hard push, when you see guys stepping into their three-point shots in transition, it takes your confidence to the next level. And that's why you see the Rams playing with the swagger that they have right now. And it takes a lot of pressure, Rich, off of your half-court offense. Your half-court offense doesn't have to run flawlessly when you're able to get easy points in transition, which they've been able to do.
Alabama 0 for 7 from 3. And they've turned it over 12 times.
Coach Oates was saying earlier that he wanted to stick the turnovers to 12 for the game. We got 7 minutes to go in the first half, and they're at 12 already.
Jacob top and wide open. Brady rattles it home. So Rhode Island has made 6 of its last 8 field goal attempts, and they now lead it 32-16. Toppin showing some range. Alex Reese likes to shoot it. There's a beautiful cut and finish by Kyra Lewis. 10 NBA scouts are here at the Ryan Center, principally to watch number 2 in red. He's young, 17. He was the youngest freshman in the country a year ago. Just turned 18 and a sophomore. There's another backdoor cut. And now we're seeing some pretty basketball.
You're seeing David Cox's ball club so far put together a really, really solid game plan. As you see, Alabama slipped by in the back. They've been able to score in the half court, but they have terrific spacing offensively. Look at it. You know, guys are stout. They set screens, they slip, and then you start to get your swagger from the half court. Nice little head and shoulder fake that time by Tate. He was able to get in the gap, but he was able to get in the gap because of the spacing offensively that the Rams have on the floor.
Getting really good minutes off the bench from number 5, Dana Tate. 7 points already. And there's a rebound by Dana Tate off the Bama miss. Dalton, he had Jacob Toppin on a cut and just sailed through his arms. A little too much heat on that one. Dalton's been the star so far. 5 for 5 from the field, 13 points for Rhode Island.
Dalton as well as Fats Russell, they've done a really good job at playing off of each other. And then the silent killer in today's game for me has really been number 12 for the Rams, Dana Tate. He's gotten stops, and then he's been able to push it hard in transition without having to pitch it back to the guard to run the offense, which gave them some easy point production.
Tate hasn't done a whole lot in the first 2 games. Really wasn't a factor. And Herbert Jones, it appeared, got grabbed. They didn't call it. It's loose, and there's good feed. It's 20 Rhode Island.
Again, good ball movement. It's gone from side to side. No one's sitting on the ball for an extraordinary long time for the Rams, and when you have that, you force the defense to chase you, and then you're able to get in the pocket, like we saw the last possession by Tate, and then that possession by Tyrese Martin.
Javion Davis, the foul. That's his first. Team 6. Tyrese Martin goes to the line. They have high hopes for Martin here as a wing player and a scorer. Hasn't done much today. 6'6", 205-pound sophomore from my old hometown, Allentown, PA. Played for the Allen High Canaries. And my older brother Bob was the starting point guard back. How's this? 1974.
Ooh, way back.
Milo Sewers, the old Little Palestra. Great basketball town back in the day. One of 2. Good pass by Petty to Shackelford. And Petty is fouled. So a little bit better ball movement by Alabama. Just need to knock down some shots and take care of the basketball.
Well, you've seen good ball movement when they've been able to have a good solid possession without turning it over. Their turnovers have really cost them tremendously so far here in the first half.
And the foul was on Tyrese Martin, his first, team's fourth. Petty to shoot.
And give David Cox an awful lot of kudos for making his ball club run that 1-2-2 press, because it's not to steal the ball, but they want to slow Alabama down. Alabama's a rhythm ball club. They like to go, and that's slowing them down just a little bit and forcing them to run half-court offense.
Petty misses both, 70% foul shooter for his career. Averaged 11 points, 4 assists per game last season for Bama. Fats on the drive, and count it, and a foul. It's a blocking foul. A good take by Fats Russell right into the teeth of that defense. Didn't back down, and he's rewarded.
Again, nice spacing by the Rams. He refuses the high ball screen, gets all the way to the basket. That time Jones got there a little late. I thought he tried to sell it. I thought he fell before Fats got there. But Fats is one of those guys that you have a jump shot to do that. The ball in a blur.
Whistled Herbert Jones for the foul, his second, team 7th. Fats 75% for his career from the foul line.
Watch the press. 1-2-2. Active hands, active feet. Not really trying to force a lot of pressure, but they're trying to slow Alabama down.
Jones was out of control on that play. And coming out of the scrum was Gregory Hammond off the bench. And the freshman was fouled. So over the limit, and Rhode Island will shoot 1-1. That's the second foul on Javion Davis.
On the season, the Rams are only shooting 34% from the floor, 32% from three. In this game, they've been able to mask those low numbers by getting easy baskets in transition. And also, now they're in the bonus, they're knocking down their free throws. All of those two ways are different strategies and different concepts of how to score the basketball. It's not always the three. It's not always the dunk. It's easy layups and scoring at that free throw line.
They were the worst three-point shooting team in the country last year. 28%. Just a slight uptick will be an enormous help.
And they've struggled mightily so far this year. And I talked to Coach Cox about that yesterday in practice, and he was like, look, we think we had good shooters. They've had some open looks. They've just got to knock them down.
4 of 9 from 3 today. Petty misses. Fats Russell comes away with it. 22-point lead for Rhode Island. It's been a disastrous first half for Bama. First road game for Nate Oates in Alabama. And a good strong take to the rim by Dana Tate, and he was fouled.
I tell you what, you've got to love the energy that Dana Tate has brought to this game so far, defensively and offensively. Nice ball fake, which, by the way, I think is one of the lost art in the game. And then he drives it hard to the basket and is able to pick up the foul. And then, if they're still able to knock down their free throws, then they put up that 1-2-2 3/4 court press. It starts to cut the clock a little bit, and then they start to tighten the noose a little bit on Alabama. They've got to find a way, Alabama, to take care of the ball and then find a way to get out in transition, and they score the ball at the same clip that we're now seeing from Rhode Island.
The foul was on Galen Smith, his second. Jones quickly into the front court. There's a foul on Rhode Island. Foul's on Hammond. It's his first 15 foul. But they have really done a good job containing Kyra Lewis.
You know, you have to give Rhode Island an awful lot of credit for the job they've done defensively all the way around. Yes, Kyra Lewis is their focal point. Jones, you saw right there with the nice little one-on-one move. And Rhode Island has to realize, Richard, this is a long game. You know, you can't get excited. You can't start to feel yourself. You have to do all the little things that gave you the lead and continue to execute both defensively as well as offensively.
The last Bama bucket by Herbert Jones, and he's looked good. 8 points to lead the Crimson Tide. Tyrese Martin jumped in on Herbert Jones. They whistle him for the foul. Bama needs to get something going in a huge early hole against Rhode Island. All Rhode Island here At the Ryan Center in southern New England, Rhode Island picked 4th in the Atlantic 10 with NCAA tournament hopes realistic. Bama 6th in the SEC. Nate Oates, their new coach, saying he'd be disappointed if they didn't make it. They don't look like a tournament team, though it is very early. It's just November. Bama 10 of 29 from the floor today. Rhode Island 15 of 27. They've made 6 of their last 7 after a slow start. They were down 6-0. Now a big lead, Ronnie.
And then also, Rhode Island's done a good job at defending Alabama along that three-point line. They like to take 33 threes a game. First 2 games, they've shot a ton of threes. And as Coach told us in practice, drives all the way to the basket and then long threes. Haven't been able to get off a lot of shot attempts so far here in the game.
Nice touch inside. Alex Reese, he now has 6. Need is 18. See if they can chip away. Doughton fall away. That's soft. Doughton's had a very good game. 15 points, 6 of 6 from the floor. Count it at the other end.
What you're seeing by Alabama, they're trying to put the ball on the floor, get all the way to the basket, and force the clock to stop through fouling situations. Every guy is putting their head down once they get it in the half-court set, Rich, and they're just driving the ball, trying to touch the paint.
Coming up on the Geico Halftime Report, NASCAR Championship Preview, and looking ahead to Navy at Notre Dame. 3-point play the hard way for Herbert Jones, now with 11. Doughton finds Fats Russell in the corner. A little bit off balance. Beetle Bolden has it, and they're going to call a blocking foul on Rhode Island. So a chance for back-to-back 3-point plays the old school way. That foul was on Doughton, his first.
That possession, Alabama gave Rhode Island a little bit of taste of their own medicine. They got to stop. Then you saw the whole hard push that time by Alabama. Poor talking in transition between Dana Tate as well as Jeff Doughton. They were a little bit confused on who's going to stop the ball. No one stopped it. And Alabama was able to get all the way to the basket.
Bolden averaged 12 for West Virginia. He's now a graduate senior here at Alabama. Fats Russell, pretty take, and a nice little floater. Bolden, corner 3. And they can't throw it in the ocean from the beach. Tate, pump fake drive, gets away from him. Kyra Lewis has it. Lewis is fouled. Looked like Doughton grabbed him on the way up.
Again, in transition, we see back-to-back possessions, poor communication by Rhode Island. Someone's got to talk to clear the ball. Right here, hard push. Either Fats Russell's going to take it or Doughton's going to take it. They both kind of stayed 50-50. No one claimed it. And again, Alabama was able to get all the way to the basket and draw the foul.
Actually whistled Russell for that foul. His second. Kyra Lewis, preseason first team all Southeast Conference.
Legitimately. And today he's been really quiet. So far he's been held in check for the most part. Again, you've got to give a lot of credit to the job Durant has done early in this game.
He scored a career-high 30 against Penn in the opener with 8 assists, but he did miss 2 foul shots, down 1 with a couple of seconds to play.
What I love about his game is he gives it up for you on both sides of the ball. He's not just one of those offensive savants. He'll play hard defensively. He doesn't press his game, doesn't get panicky if he doesn't score a lot early. He lets the game come to him.
Langevin went hard, and he ran over Herbert Jones. That's his third. He's been maybe their best player so far, Jones. A little bit of foul trouble. Langevin goes to the stripe.
Jones coming off that elbow injury. It was really questionable as to how much he would actually play in today's game. But as you just touched on, he's been very effective so far in the first half.
Cyril Langevin, first team Atlantic 10 preseason selection.
Guess how many rebounds he's averaging so far this year? 16. 16. I thought I'd give it to you.
He's only 6'7".
But you know what?
Look, right?
He's short as post players go in theory. But to rebound, most of the rebounds in this game come below the rim.
Gotta want it.
So you got to want
It's
it.
hunger.
And he's one of those guys that flat out gets after it.
Undersized rebounders, great rebounders. You go all the way back to Wes Unseld, Charles Barkley.
Charles Oakley.
Elgin Baylor was a great rebounder at, what, about 6'5". Ben Wallace of the Pistons, great rebounder, wasn't huge.
You hear those guys that you're naming, you're talking Hall of Famers, best that ever did it. And rebounding is one of those things that it translates, from high school to college, from college to the NBA. As you see Langevin come over and make the big-time block.
Cyril plays with spirit. He gets after it.
Great weak side help right here. Dalton gets beat on the turn, and then your teammate Langevin says, "Don't worry about it, young fella. I got your back." Comes over and smacks it off the glass.
Fun-loving guy, keeps the team loose. Cyril Langevin. First team all defense as well, and you can see why on that last play. 16-point lead, and we're going the other way.
Good job. Langevin was trying to set a ball screen to free Fats off. Fats didn't come off the screen as he was supposed to, and caught Langevin going the opposite way to set the screen for him. And got called with the foul.
Yeah, Langevin's first foul. So 1 minute to go in a 16-point Rhode Island lead. Bama could really use a bucket here. Tyler Lewis stripped on the way up.
Again, great weak side help again that time by the Rams.
And at the other end, Fats Russell stripped by Petty, and the run out. Kyra Lewis throws it down. 14-point game. Within reach, 8 for Kyra Lewis.
Great job, I think, this possession by Dalton. Walks the ball up the court. We had a few bad possessions in a row. Let's get ourselves in a good offensive set. Great move that time by the senior.
Fats, Toppin, 3. Second 3 of the game for Jacob Toppin. Freshman with a little moxie like his brother Obi at Dayton. Shackelford corner 3, and he has been way off after having had 2 good games to start the season. Alabama is 0 for 9 from 3 in the first half. Rams with a big run. And they're up 17 as we go to the break here on NBCSN. Rhode Island 50, Bama 33. Back to the Ryan Center in Kingston, Rhode Island. The Rams, home team, down 6-0 early. Now up 50-33, trying to make it 3 wins for the Atlantic 10 over the Southeast Conference in as many nights. Rich Lerner back with Ronnie Thompson. Look now at the Geico first half stats. And Ronnie, what jumps out at you?
Well, the first thing is the turnovers. Alabama turned it over 13 times, but more impressively, the Rams were able to turn that into good offensive points. And you see right there the 19 by the Rams. And when you want to get yourself jump-started, you've been struggling offensively, you've got to be able to get stops defensively. And these guys, good offense. I thought Fats Russell's first 2 games this season struggled a little bit from the floor, found his mojo, found his rhythm, and he did it by not just playing offense. You see good defensive effort, blocking the jump shot, comes off the high ball screen, and is able to start knocking down shots. What the Rams were able to do, they were able to get some easy baskets in transition, which really helped their half-court offense and really helped them knock down shots. Jeff Dowd is an absolute stud, letting the offense work for him, hits the high post, cuts off the little ball screen right here, comes down in transition, and is able to knock it down. The beautiful thing about a guy like Dowd is he allows the game to come to him. He never seems rushed. He never seems forced. The pace of the game is one that I think bodes well for Rhode Island getting back on the right track after the loss to Maryland.
Jeff Dalton, silky smooth, senior guard from Maryland, went to St. John's College High School, all academic. The Atlantic 10 business major. He's been all business tonight. What does Bama need to do to get back in this?
First thing, don't panic. Look for Alabama to start to extend their defense a little bit because they're playing against the clock just a little bit with being in such a big hole. So look for them to play a little full-court defense, and look for them also, they've got to take care of the ball. They shot themselves in the foot so much there in the first half by not poor offense, but just sheer turning the ball over. So taking care of the ball, look for them to extend their defense and try to turn the Rams over a little bit.
13 turnovers for Alabama in that first half. 0 for 10 from three-point land.
But if you're the Rams, you have to understand, Rich, that the Alabama, they're not going to just quit. They're going to be a little physical, be a little aggressive defensively. So you have to expect that. You know the coach went in the locker room, ripped them something terrible at the halftime. So the guys are going to come out, at least initially, with a lot of fight.
Fats missed the shot in the lane. And the possession arrow goes to Alabama. They need to get John Petty going a little bit. He hasn't scored, averaged 11 points per game last year.
Also, a guy like Javion Davis, the big fellow on the inside, he's had some good games earlier this year as well.
19 against Florida Atlantic, didn't score in the first half.
And he's been non-existent in this game. So
Shackelford, number 5 in red, averaging 16.5 through 2 games, only scored 2 in that first half. There is a Javion Davis. He's tied up by Cyril Langevin, and now it goes back to Rhode Island. Rhode Island shot 56% from the floor in that first half, and you mentioned how poorly they have shot the three the last year and change. 5 for 11 from beyond the arc.
The reason they shot the ball so high from the floor in the first half is because the amount of layups they got by getting stops and getting out in transition.
That's a good move by Fats. Russell used his body to shield the defender off the window. And the lead is back to 19 for Rhode Island. Beetle Bolden. Here's Petty, corner 3. And that's long. Rebound away to Jermaine Harris for Rhode Island. Excellent backcourt play for the Rams so far. Langevin tried the reverse and didn't get it. Petty. Wow. Whirling dervish at a circus shot by Herbert Jones off the window.
I clearly thought he ran out of real estate on that one. I don't know how he was able to get that one to the glass.
What a good game, 13 points.
And he's one of those guys, Jones, that you don't have to run any plays for. Just leave him out there. He gets tip-ins, he fills the lane, he gets stops. You see the block shot right there?
He's really good on the defensive end. He needs improvement on that offensive end you just saw. And there's a beautiful bounce pass. Tyrese Martin to Cyril Langevin, who scores the bucket. Langevin now with 6. 54-35 Rhode Island. It's a good feed. Kyra Lewis to a rolling Javion Davis, and he's fouled.
You know, one of the reasons Rhode Island's been so effective in their transition game today, Rich, is because when they've gotten stops, their bigs, for the most part, their 4 men are able to put the ball on the floor just enough to ignite the fast break. A lot of times when you get a steal, the bigs have to stop, wait for the guard to come back and get it. You know, guys like Martin, Langevin, Tate, they've been able to put the ball on the floor just enough to start the fast break to get that easy basket.
Foul was on Fats. Russell, his 3rd, something to keep an eye on. The big fella at the line lost 50 pounds. He's a 4-star recruit coming out of Canton, Mississippi. Rated the 2nd best player in Mississippi. Redshirted last year, got himself in shape. They have high hopes for Javion Davis down the road.
Can you imagine the 2nd game of the year, you scoring 19 points, getting 5 or 6 boards? You got to go a long way for your confidence.
Langevin has Harris inside. And off the window. Collected himself, showed some poise.
Now that's who I want to see Harris go to work. Stop messing with that 3-point line, big fella. Get your tail down on the inside and go to work.
And at this end, Harris takes the charge. You want more of that.
Yes.
You didn't, at halftime, he was out jacking threes before the game.
Yeah, I couldn't believe
you didn't like it.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing. He wasn't rotating like you see just now. He comes over, gets a charge. He has to have a presence. You don't always have to just have a presence offensively, but do the little things. When the cutters are cutting through and the teams are trying to run their offense, you want your big man to touch him a little bit. Let him feel something when they cut through the paint. He looks like Tarzan. He looks like a really strong dude out there, and he plays a little with not enough physicality, if that's a word.
Another great cut. They're doing a nice job with Cyril Langevin sort of at the top of the key or at the foul line area and working the offense through him. And he had Tyrese Martin on a backdoor cut. And now, I'll say it again, another Alabama turnover. That is 17 turnovers for Bama.
Coach Oates right there. Trust me, no player running down the floor is going to make eye contact with him today. It's just one of those games so far with Alabama that nothing they've done in the half court has been right.
Langevin misses inside. Kyra Lewis on the run out. Beautiful feed and the finish. Herbert Jones.
See, that's one of those possessions defensively that I want to see Harris give a hard foul. You know, don't just let him go get an and one. Don't let him flow through there. Give a hard foul and put him on the free throw line.
And that foul was on Petty, his second. (58-39) Rhode Island. Bit of a surprise, just the margin at this point. Rhode Island was a 2-point favorite. And Langevin traveled. 9 turnovers now for Rhode Island.
I would love to see that again in slow motion. I think that's one of those moves that officials are ready to make the call before it actually happens. That looked like a good jab, step, and drive that time by Langevin. As you see Javion Davis with the drive from the baseline and the dunk.
58-41. See if Bama can go on a sustained run here. Harris, it's a blocking foul on Kyra Lewis. Here we go. Big fella, more of this from Bama, Javion Davis, but still a big hole to climb out of. It's a great night against the Southeast Conference opponents so far for Rhode Island. 58-41 behind outstanding defense. There's Javon Quinterly, you see in the hoodie right there. Been in the news a lot lately. He was caught up in that Arizona scandal. Never played for the Wildcats. Name was sort of dragged through the mud. Eventually, he was cleared by the FBI, went to Villanova, did not have a very good year there, just mentally wasn't in a good place, transferred to Alabama. His transfer eligibility appeal earlier this week was denied by the NCAA. Alabama, his family not very happy. He will have to wait until next year to play. 5-star recruit out of New Jersey. And I think he's going to be great in this system. 17-point lead, Rhode Island. Fats Russell can get into the hole pretty much at will today. Short on that one. Vito Golden away with it. Kyra Lewis into the lane easily. And it's a 15-point game. Still with a lot of time left.
For a team that likes to take a lot of threes, they're shooting about 33 a game. That's Alabama. They're down in this game. I like the strategy. They're not trying to just jack up threes. They're trying to get to the paint. They're trying to get twos or you to foul them and stop the clock, and they're able to go to the free throw line until they're able to cut this lead and get back in the hunt.
Langevin couldn't quite save it off that doubt and miss, and now a chance for Bama to cut into that lead even more. 6-0 Alabama run. Reese, fake, and now kicks. Beetle Bolden. Just can't find it from deep. They have not yet made a three. They are 0 for 12 from downtown. Toppin already 2 of 2. Not that time. Rebound, Galen Smith. Another chance for Bama. Beetle tried to do too much. Again, he's not having a very good game. Give some credit to Fats Russell with quick hands.
No doubt. Good closeout right here. He's able to stay in front. Active hands on the crossover. Reaches in there. Hits it right off of Bolden's foot. Fats has played an all-around game so far today. He scored it, but hasn't fallen in love with the jump shot. He's been able to get to the rack. He's locked up defensively.
Fats. And there's Toppin. No. And there's that bounce we talked about, but he's denied at the rim by Galen Smith. Big body, looks like he could play for Nick Saban. Kyra Lewis is a blur going to the bucket.
Again, we've seen 3 possessions here in transition where Rhode Island hasn't stopped the ball. In transition, especially when a guy like Lewis has it, you've got to claim him and claim him early.
14 for Lewis. That play right there is why the NBA scouts are intrigued. I mean, his game needs some polish. He has to round out. He's very young. Just turned 18 in his second year at Bama.
He has something that you can't teach. There's 2 things, actually. He has speed and a competitive way about it.
The defense. Petty. It's the rebound off the Russell miss. Shackelford at last, and the first 3-pointer of the game for the Crimson Tide. And Ronnie, it's an 11-0 run, and we have a ball game at its 10-point Rhode Island lead.
We've seen so far here in the second half that Rhode Island, they've been a little flat. They haven't come out with the same energy, the same pop. They don't have as much energy in the half court. And because of that, Alabama's been able to crawl back in it. You see the hard push here in transition. The Rams don't get back and get matched up. You see them knocking down the easy tray in transition.
Ronnie, what's your concern with Rhode Island?
That they are not going to have a short-term memory. You have to forget what happened the game prior against the University of Maryland. They played great in the first half. Second half, they came out a little sluggish. Maryland got back in the game. This game, great first half. This half, they're starting a little sluggish. They have to hear Coach Cox's voice in their ear at the start of each half. That nagging voice with the coach calling at you to do all the little things, they have to make sure they do that the second half of this game.
Inside, there is Jacob Toppin. Those are the hops we were talking about. And Toppin has 8 off the bench.
Great
freshman from New York.
Great OTO that time. Out of timeout by Coach Cox. As you see Alabama
nice
answering. Yes, no doubt. And that's what you want to do on the road. Sometimes you just got to see it go through the net.
Suddenly 2 threes in a row. They're catching fire, Bama. And Doughton on the penetration is bumped.
Again, good penetration here by Doughton, getting into the teeth of the defense. Jump stop, Doughton. Nice 1-through-2 dribble, whip through. Finish with 2 hands on the baseline.
That's 3rd foul on John Petty. He'll go to the bench, and Herbert Jones comes back. Jones has been excellent tonight. Alabama down only 9. They were down by as many as 22 in that first half.
So much time left in this game for both ball clubs. And if you're Rhode Island, do the same things you did early on. Have the aggressiveness defensively. Have the active hands. Try to generate steals. When you get the steal, push it in transition. Half-court offensively, we saw excellent ball movement by Rhode Island as well.
That was about a 10-second stint for Herbert Jones because he just picked up his 4th foul.
And that's major because he's been the one bright spot first half and second half so far here for Alabama. Active hands. You don't have to run a play for him. He's been the heart pump for this ball club so far in this game.
Beetle Bolden takes his place. 12:20 to go in the game. Doughton, beautiful take. Jeff Doughton's been superb. 17 for Doughton. Good look inside. Galen Smith hammers it home off a really good-looking dish by Kyra Lewis.
You know, sometimes that's the hardest place to figure out where to help when there's a high pick and roll in the middle of the court. Who rotates? Both sides are looking to rotate. That time no one did defensively for Rhode Island.
Fats recovered his own miss. See what the call is.
Again, down Main Street with the nice finger roll down the middle. No weak side help for Alabama, but then nice pass that time by Lewis with the finish on the inside by Smith.
Thanksgiving weekend, the real action happening on the court. Boston College of the ACC against the Richmond Spiders of the Atlantic 10, Saturday, November 30th on NBCSN. A-10 very much improved. Already wins over 4 NCAA tourney teams from a year ago. And right now, Rhode Island by 9 over Alabama, which is making a move. They were down 22 in the first half. First time an SEC team has come to the Ryan Center. Rhode Island 7-12, not too bad all time against schools currently in the SEC. This is the third meeting between these two schools. 2 years ago, down at Tuscaloosa, Bama in a close game, 68-64 over Rhode Island.
You know, Bama's crawled their way back into this game. Of the 53 points they have, almost 40 of them have come inside the paint. It's usually been the flip side in terms of them knocking down threes.
The window works. Jacob Toppin with his third three of the game.
I'm glad the backboard was there because that ball might still be going. You got a call glass on that one.
11 for Toppin. Cyril Langevin actually got outworked on the boards, but Davis threw it to Tyrese Martin, and Martin ran over Beetle Bolden. Offensive foul on Tyrese Martin. That's his third.
Good transition, D, I thought that time by Alabama. Hard push by Martin. I thought that Martin could have kicked it to the wing for Fats Russell, who's been on a bit of a roll for the easy three. He chose to keep it, but excellent defense, I thought, that time by the Tide.
And Martin has struggled. Down 12. Kyra Lewis again is gliding to the basket.
If your weak side help is not already there with someone as fast as Kyra Lewis is, he's going to score every time. You have to almost be there to deter him from getting that close to the basket, because once he turns a corner, it's too late.
Langevin off the feed from Toppin is fouled. They'll shoot a pair. It's the third foul on Kyra Lewis. It's the 7th team foul.
Langevin only a 36% free throw shooter so far this season, but that free throw line area, if the Rams can find a way to keep running their offense, keep having ball movement, not just settle for three, take the three if it's there, but if not, get to the basket. Alabama is going to have to start to foul them as this game progresses, because they're going to want to stop the clock, and they're starting to get guys in foul trouble.
Think about Rhode Island basketball. Catino Mobley, Lamar Odom played here. The infamous Sly Williams back in the late 70s, then went to the New York Knicks.
Yep.
Jared Terrell's now playing in Israel. He played for the Minnesota Timberwolves more recently. Bama down 12. Eddie, see if he can get going. No. Rebound. It will belong to Rhode Island. Give Javion Davis credit. He's really battling inside against one of the best rebounders in the country in Cyril Langevin.
You know, I've really been surprised that Alabama hasn't extended their defense. As we take a look at the foul trouble, key players picking up fouls. Let's see how that plays when it comes down to about 5 minutes to go in the game.
Martin back in. There you go. Soft. Nice little pull-up. Tyrese Martin.
Martin, I like his game. He's one of those guys that you wish he put the pedal to the gas, the pedal to the metal just a little bit more. I like the versatility with him offensively. Not selfish. Wish he would be a little bit more selfish and a little bit more consistent on the offensive end.
Martin just picked up his 4th personal foul. Kyra Lewis will shoot a pair. Career 77% foul shooter. Dynamic player. He's recruited by the likes of Kansas and Auburn. And when Nate Oates took the job, Kyra Lewis sort of had to be re-recruited.
That's the first phone call you make.
Right, as opposed to going into that transfer portal, which has become so popular in today's game.
Well, you know, a lot of times, a lot of coaches forget that you've got to recruit your own campus. You know, and that's your own team. That's the people on campus that you've got to work with. You spend so much time, as you see Alabama getting the steal, running around trying to get the next whomever, and you forget about what you already have.
Not sure what Cyril Langevin was thinking going behind his back. That's not quite his game, is it?
Well, we've talked a little bit about, this new generation post guy that wants to show everybody what they can do from the perimeter.
Brook Lopez is a 7'2" two guard. That's the modern game. And there's a blocking foul. Beetle Bolden tried to drive it. And that's on Jeff Downton. That's his second. Team's fourth. Mekhi Long replacing Jacob Toppin, who has given David Cox some great minutes. 11 points, 3 threes.
Toppin is one of those players when you just look at his game, you just see the upside and how good he's going to be.
It's a good pass on the interior by the big fella. Javion Davis finds John Petty. Davis has looked good in spots. Promising young big. Inside Cyril Langevin. And they will whistle Beetle Bolden for another foul. A lot of whistles.
Langevin, one of the things that makes him so effective, yes, he's a great rebounder, but his energy. He doesn't waste a lot of motions on the floor. He sets a screen, he rolls hard. If he sets a screen, he pops hard. If it's his job to rotate, he rotates with energy. He does a lot of things at full tilt. And a lot of people don't play the game that way. A lot of people try to play with pace. A lot of people try to play with poise. Langevin just gives you all he has each and every possession.
7 now for Cyril Langevin. 5 of 7 from the foul line. Mentioned some of those great Rhode Island players. Good coaches here as well. Tom Penders, before he went to Texas, was here.
Right.
Tom Garrick and a team that went to the Sweet 16 back in the 80s. Jim Harrick, after leading UCLA to a title, came to Rhode Island and took a team that had Cuttino Mobley and Tyson Wheeler to the Elite Eight in 1998. Al Skinner before Boston College was here. And Jack Kraft after Villanova came to Rhode Island. Inside, and Javion Davis is working hard. He's starting to come to life, Ronnie.
Yeah, he is. And what he's done is taken a page out of Langevin's book. He's picked up his energy a little bit. You see right here, nice little pick and roll, nice hard roll. I like the fact that he didn't pop to the corner. The big fella rode to the basket. And that time, Harris and Dowden gave a little half trap, and Dowden picked up the foul.
That's his third foul. We need every one at this point. Three for 3 from the foul line, Javion Davis. Think of Bama greats. Big shot Bob, Robert Horry. 7 NBA titles for Robert Horry. 3 different teams. Latrell Sprewell, Noel Williams, Antonio McDyess, Gerald Wallace, T.R. Dunn. More recently, J. Michael Green, who's playing with the Clippers. And Colin Sexton looks like a really good guard for the Cavaliers. Better than people think. Alabama basketball tradition.
They definitely have a history.
Second most wins in the SEC all time behind Kentucky. How about that? Wait, where did he come from? I mean, he has been excellent. A great lift off the bench. Dana Tate.
When they needed a boost in the first half, Tate was there. Nice move that possession.
It's good stroke.
The second half.
Good stroke, Alex Reese. Down 9, Reese with 12. Facts. Mekhi Long, little fall away, not a great shot. Rebound, Javion Davis. Bama is hanging around. Plenty of time, down 9. Shackelford, he likes that spot, and he hasn't been able to find it tonight. Tough shooting night for the freshman from California. He was a 4-star recruit.
As big a hole as Alabama has dug themselves in this game, you've never seen them panic. You know, you've seen them staying together as a unit. They're chipping away at the lead. They haven't looked lost.
Tate misses from the corner. Shackelford has it for Alabama. Tyra Lewis. Petty, 3. Has it. And we have a ball game with 7.5 to go, and it's 73-67.
Rich, the penetration by the Tide has been the key. That time, nice hard penetration by Kyra Lewis to the kick out to Petty.
Didn't make a 3 in the first half, but Ronnie, they're finding the mark now in the second.
But they're doing it off penetration by Lewis. The penetrating kick that time for Shackelford. Lewis, the penetrating kick that time for Petty.
Rich Lerner and Ronnie Thompson, Ryan Center in Rhode Island. Roll Tide right now. They were down 22 in the first half, now only 6. 4 3-pointers in this half after going 0 for 10 in the first half. 71% from the field, 12 of 17 after shooting 35% in the first half. The Tide is back in this ball game.
The best thing they've done, Rich, is they've stayed together as a unit. When they got down big, you didn't see a lot of finger pointing. You didn't see a lot of arguing amongst themselves on the floor. They've stayed together. Now they find themselves back in the hunt.
Early in the season, just the third game, you want to build habits. First road game for Nate Oates as Alabama's head coach. Fats Russell. Oh, Rhode Island needed that. That's a 2 for Fats.
Fats has been really huge in today's game.
7 of 16. 16 points for the guard from Philadelphia.
Sputtered a little bit offensively the last game. Seemed to have found his mark in today's game. Great out-of-timeout set that time by David Cox.
They're going to whistle Langevin for the foul. Riding the hip of Kyra Lewis. 2 fouls on Cyril Langevin. That's the team's 6th. Eight teams from the Atlantic 10 unbeaten in the very early going. Big game coming up Sunday. Seton Hall will be at St. Louis. Travis Ford has a good club. They won the conference tournament last year. Inside, and Galen Smith.
Again, Galen Smith, 2 feet in the lane, right under the basket. Anyone at this level can convert. If you're Rhode Island, you've got to push them out outside the paint.
Fats, 3. No chance on that one. Rebound. Alex Reese. Tyro, and he's rejected. That is outstanding defense by Doughton. You think Doughton might have a chance at the next level? Why?
No question. I like his length. I like his ability to, as you can see right here, to guard his position. One of the fastest players in college basketball right there. He stays with him toe for toe. But he has a unique feel for the game. There's a lot of guys, you can't make a point guard, a true point guard. He has that feel, that little thing. He's able to knock down shots, love. He's one of those guys that you'll see next year playing for the San Antonio Spurs, and you'll say, who is that guy?
Spurs have a knack, don't they, finding players?
Certainly do.
Bryn Forbes. Guys like that. Doughton fall away. Uses glass and has a bucket. 77-69, 6 minutes to go.
And as a coach, you like it when your seniors make plays for you. You see Alabama, they've been on the roll the last 2 possessions. Doughton's been able to knock them down.
Tate off the turnover. And now Rhode Island has its mojo back. Back up by 10.
Tough defense on one end. You see the conversion, fast break. They didn't wait. They didn't pull it back out. Tate getting it done in transition.
Nice little mini run after Alabama crept closer. Rhode Island back up by 10. Led by Jeff Doughton. 8 of 9 from the field tonight. 19 points. A balanced attack for the Rams. Still plenty of time for Bama to mount another charge. They had drawn closer to within 6. Again down 22 in the first half.
One of the reasons I think Fats is such a tough guard is at his size, you have to be ready to come at him and blitz him on the ball screen. You see good ball movement goes from one side to another. Here's a high ball screen. If you're Alabama, you got to jump out that big, which was Smith in that possession. Number 30, you've got to be there as he's coming off the screen and either trap him or blow it up and make him dribble out towards half court. If you go under ball screens or the big and don't show, that's to make you pay all night long.
Seeing one of the better guard tandems in the Atlantic 10. Dalton, Fats Russell for Rhode Island. There's a great feed inside. What a rejection by Cyril Langevin.
Excellent energy,
Come on, big
excellent
fella.
effort. He comes over, he stops the drive, drop steps, and then gets the block. That's excellent, excellent energy right there. He gives help on the penetration and then comes over and gets the block. You know who used to do stuff like that in college? It was Patrick Ewing. He used to stop the penetration, then on the pass be able to go back and get the block as well.
Patrick doing a nice job now. Head coach, your school, where you're working with Patrick at Georgetown. He met Galen Smith at the rim right there. Did Cyril Langevin. Beautiful turnaround left hand. He's showing some game.
Yeah, I didn't realize
Herbert Jones.
Jones had this much offensive dexterity as we've seen. You know, he's known as just being a defensive stopper kind of guy. He's done some pretty exciting things offensively today.
17 for Herbert Jones. Dalton inside Langevin.
You've got to love Dalton.
He is fouled.
That possession, he kept the defender on his back until the play opened up and then dropped off a nice pass to Langevin.
Talk about the Atlantic 10. They think they have a chance very early in the season. Be a multiple bid league. I'd be disappointed if they didn't get 3 when all is said and done. There's that much hope for teams like Rhode Island, VCU, and Dayton and Davidson, though Davidson is off to a slow start. VCU briefly ranked 25th. Though they're unbeaten, they did fall out. Maybe they'll pop back in after that win over LSU down at the Siegel Center earlier this week. 81-71 Rhode Island.
The senior Langevin, the senior Jeff Doubt for URI, they've come up big so far here in the second half.
Javion Davis, pretty good move, just didn't fall. Rebound away by Cyril Langevin.
I like what we've seen from Javion Davis on the inside. He's one of those bigs that if he got a few more touches in the half court could cause some problems.
Offensive foul, Cyril Langevin. What Nate Oates has to be pleased with the way Javion Davis is battling Cyril Langevin.
No doubt about it right here. High ball screen there. Excellent rotation. Good team defense that time by Alabama.
And that was Herbert Jones. Got 40-plus charges for his career. Junior from Alabama. What a strong move by the big young man from Mississippi.
See what I'm saying about the touches right there? That was just a grown man move, that possession. He caught it on the block. It seemed like nothing was there, and he just powered his way through. Watch this. Big-time finish by the big fella on the block.
Rhode Island up 8. 3 minutes, 58 seconds to go. What pops as you look at these second-half stats, Ronnie?
The biggest thing is the job that Alabama's done in terms of taking care of the ball. 13, 14 turnovers there in the first half, only 7 so far here in the second half. And because of that, they've been able to crawl back in this game.
4 3-pointers,
The other
0 in the first half.
The other thing that's been good for Rhode Island is the free throw. They're 6 for 6 here in the second half. When you're trying to close a game against a tough SEC opponent like Alabama, you've got to be able to make those free throws when the clock is stopped.
Javion Davis completes the three-point play. That foul was on Langevin, his 4th, and that was a growed-up move by the redshirt freshman. It was old school. It's only down 7. Doughton. Rare miss for Doughton. Petty with a rebound. Herbert Jones to the bucket. No, and there is Davis again. Follows and scores. What a second half for Javion Davis.
Would it be fair to say that Javion Davis is playing with a sense of urgency?
He is. 11 points, 7 rebounds for Davis. 6'9", big horse of a guy, as Keith Jackson used to say. 245 pounds. Tate. Threw it away. Tyra Lewis. Bama's only down 5, just under 3 minutes to go. Beetle Bolden. Wild 3. Way off. And a tough night for Beetle Bolden. Pounding Fats Russell. Rams using a little clock. And Beetle Bolden just fouled Fats Russell.
Right now, if you're David Cox, when you call a set, you want to see your ball club do 2 things. Pop to it and then sprint through your sets. Don't move like you're in quicksand. Don't move like you're trying to figure things out. Make Alabama chase you. You have the lead. Make them come after you.
5 fouls. Beetle Bolden is done. Leaves with 4 points, 2 of 7 from the field, 0 for 4 from three-point land, and 4 turnovers. Fouled out in the last game against Florida Atlantic with 14 minutes to go in the game, and only 3 points. So a tough 2-game stretch for Beetle Bolden. That's Russell, 1 of 1 from the foul line tonight, 75% for his career. Backcourt combining now for 36 points. 17 for Fats, 19 for Doughton.
You know what I think a good stat is not what people shoot throughout the course of the game, but what they shoot under 5 minutes. Whether it's from the three-point line, whether it's from the floor or the free throw line, I bet those percentages are a little bit different.
83-76, Rhode Island. Jones threw it away, right to surreal land. Javine left his feet, nowhere to go. 21 turnovers now for Bama. Fats right into the teeth of the defense, and he is blocked. Good sportsmanship, John Petty.
It's got to be a huge luxury to have a guy like Fats Russell and a guy like Jeff Doughton, 2 guys that can handle the ball, 2 guys that can create, guys that can create free throws, but more importantly, guys for the most part that play with excellent decision-making.
I'd like to see this backcourt go up against Davidson with John Axel Goodmanson, the player of the year, and Kellen Grady.
They will. They will. They will have their opportunity.
St. Louis has a backcourt. Jordan Goodwin and this youngster, Yuri Collins. We'll see how they stack up against Seton Hall, which gave Michigan State a good game. You guys bang knees here.
You see hard penetration.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's the worst. That's the worst. That's usually like a stinger. You know, it's usually not an injury, but the pain is excruciating. It's one of those deals that he'll ice it, he'll be sore tonight, a little bit tomorrow, but he'll be able to walk it off. That knee-to-knee, I'm squinching over here right now, thinking back when I played. Those are the worst.
Jones is actually 6'7". With that hyperextended left elbow, missed the Florida Atlantic game. He has been impressive tonight, showing that he's more than a defensive ace. Done it at both ends. We love his energy, his attitude, his understanding of the game, son of a coach. And if your name is Fats and you played in the public league in Philly, you can hoop. 4 for 4 tonight, Fats Russell.
Fats, but no fat is on the fingertips. He's knocking it down.
Petty, 3. He really needed that. And out of bounds off Javion Davis.
Look for Alabama to start to extend their defense because the clock is a huge opponent to them just as much as the score is. Yeah, here they're picking up full court. And if you're Rhode Island, you've got to meet the ball with aggression because Alabama's going to have nothing to lose by being overly aggressive right now. Protect the ball, help the ball handler when you come out, when you pop for a pass, catch it with two hands, be aggressive with everything you do offensively if you're Rhode Island right now.
Rhode Island trying to finish off what would be a great week for the Atlantic 10. A third win in as many nights over the Southeast Conference. 4 to shoot. Doughton, fall away.
Tough.
Bingo.
Tough.
Bingo. Well, Doughton has been so good tonight. 21 for Jeff Doughton. 20 for his backcourt mate, Fats Russell. Serving notice to the Atlantic 10. This team's going to have to be dealt with. They love it here at the Ryan Center. Oh, what a move by Fats.
I mean, what do? You got two guards that can go get it off the bounce. You got two guards that can catch and shoot, and you got two guards that usually make excellent decisions.
Fats up on Blueberry Hill. And Cyril Langevin is fouled by Javion Davis.
You talk about a 1-2 combination. Doughton right here with the clock winding down says, Coach, just let me put two guys on my back and go to work. Nice fadeaway jumper at the elbow. And then Fats turning the corner. The help doesn't come. The big doesn't step up. Nice finger roll at the rack. These guys are fun to watch offensively, and they scrap and get after defensively as well, too, Rich.
So it was VCU beating LSU, 23rd in the nation, LSU. With Marco Santos Silva, their undersized big. Little heat battle, Cyril Langevin going for 17 and 11. Then last night it was Jacob Gilliard and the Richmond Spiders in overtime over Vanderbilt, coached by Jerry Stackhouse. So that's the last win over an SEC school for Rhode Island. Going back 6 years, E.C. Matthews led the way for the Rams. By the way, E.C. played high school ball for Nate Oates at Romulus in Michigan. Up by 15. Tyrese. Oh! For good measure. Little exclamation point on this one. And Kyra Lewis with a meaningless 3.
This is one of those wins, depending on how this year plays out. It's a long season, but when it comes NCAA tournament selection time, and you talk about quality wins against quality teams and quality opponent, it goes a long, long way.
12-3 run over the last 2.5 minutes, and Rhode Island has beaten Alabama 93-79. Pride of Allen High, Tyrese Martin. Little highlight reel. Fats Russell, Jeff Doughton combining for 43. Huge win for the Rhode Island Rams at home. Atlantic 10 takes out the SEC. For Ronnie Thompson and our entire crew, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long from Rhode Island.